Let me come on board.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Karsta, it's so great to have you here today. We're going to be talking about finding your purpose. This book, launching finding your purpose, living on purpose rather than on accident. And I love how you're talking about like living your life by design. And what does that mean? We're going to dive into all of that. And but first, before we get started, Karsta, I'd love for you to just share with people who you are, what you're all about, and hey, what part of the world are you in?
You're so cute. Thank you, Linda, for having me. So I am a self-proclaimed former soccer mom who got super burnt out on enduring all the things that were just fine, right? The job was fine, the marriage was fine, the house was fine, all of it was fine. Nothing particularly wrong. It just got tiresome and I got burned out. And now, as a personal development expert, a speaker, an author, a coach, it is my mission to help women of all ages, to empower them to, like you said, live their life by their design rather than just by the default of what they think they're supposed to want. And I know you totally understand that. You and I've had many conversations about that. I'm a former K 12 educator who jumped into my entrepreneurial journey. I dabbled in MLM starting 7 years ago, kind of branched out on my own 5, and I'm celebrating this week too. I'm going to share this with the viewers. I'm celebrating that I finally, after this many years of dabbling, got my LLC and I'm official. And can I tell you that I know you talk a lot about this, like taking that one bold step opens up so many things. Like I did that and everything has just been flowing for like the last 2 weeks. So it's been incredible. And
Congratulations.
thanks. And I am
That's
coming
so
to
fun.
you from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, I love that because sometimes it's just that one thing that may seem like a huge step for us to take, but really each step is a small step, right? Each step leads to that huge giant leap. So they kind of add up. And so by you taking that one step, that one motion, that one action, that opened up the doors and opened up the floodgates to what's happening from there. What do you think was stopping all of that from happening, like all the goodness that's been happening the
Yeah,
last couple of weeks?
it's so funny. I don't even know. Like when I look back, I'm like, why didn't I just like do that for so long? I don't know, right? Fear of success, maybe. Maybe I know for a long time I lacked a lot of clarity in where I really wanted to go with my
Mm.
business. And once I kind of started declaring like I really want to pursue and focus a lot of my time. While I love coaching and there's definitely a personalization to it, I love being on stages and speaking. So I think once I just sort of started declaring like this is the part that I enjoy, this is what my business is about, this is who I'm serving. I just finally said, you know what, let's just get the LLC. I don't know why, but it was like the final thing I just needed to do to get out of the way.
It's almost like it makes it for yourself. It makes it feel
Mhm.
official, right? Because it
Yeah.
doesn't really, not that it doesn't matter what other people think, but that official piece, that's really about us having peace. Like that piece is about us having peace
Yes.
and creating that peace within ourselves that, this is the right path. Like I'm making this official
Yes.
by actually investing, doing something a little bit different, getting your LLC. That's a huge, huge step that a lot of people never, ever take.
Right.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Thank you. I'm very
Mhm.
excited.
Well, how does this move into your purpose? Because, we're talking about today, we're talking about the book, Finding Your Purpose, Living on Purpose Rather Than Accident. And so how does like this step here, how does
Mhm.
this lead to you living your purpose?
I think just kind of what we were just saying, right? It sort of it seems like a really maybe silly thing for somebody watching, but for me, it's now given me maybe the permission that I don't know that I needed, but apparently I did. The permission from myself to say, all right, it's time to play big, right? It's time to stop sort of pretending, or a lot of people call it hobby coaching or hobby entrepreneurship or whatever. It's time to do the damn thing. And so it just really kind of gave me that permission to continue to pursue my purpose. And I think the other piece that it helped me find peace with, I love that you use that word, is this idea that I don't have to have all the answers now. I think I was spending a lot of emotional energy trying to sort of design what it was all going to look like. What was my purpose going to be? What was the purpose of my business going to be? And I think I just finally just said, you know what, it's going to be what it's going to be, and it's going to evolve. And, in the process, I had one person just say, well, you can like do DBAs and proprietorships, and like you can do all of these things under that umbrella as it evolves. And I went, oh, no, I guess I really didn't know that. And so that just sort of was like, well, then I might as well just do it and get this done and get the ball rolling. So now
Yeah,
I
I love that. Yeah,
empower
go ahead.
others to do that.
Yeah, I think that's an important piece there is that it's never going to be perfect. And because here's one of the reasons why is hopefully today or tomorrow or the next day or next week or next month, you're going to meet somebody who's going to enlighten you to something that you don't know today.
Right.
And if that doesn't happen, that means you're not stretching out, you're not meeting new people, you're not learning new things. And one thing I realized on my entrepreneurial journey is that every time I got clear and I started sharing my message, I met somebody else, and then I got muddy. And then I got
Mhm.
clear, and then I got muddy. And it's a perpetual, wonderful, wonderful experience that we get to have as entrepreneurs because every time I get muddy on something, it means I'm growing. So I love that
I
place of
love
not being
that
clear.
little metaphor you just did there, because I that's so funny because that's exactly the journey I was on. Every time I thought I would have clarity and I would declare something, and then it was like, "Oh, that's not really it." And like you said, it would get muddy.
Yeah. I would tell people, like, I'm like, "Oh, I'm clear as a bell." I've attended a lot of networking events, and so you get up there, you do your little spiel,
Yeah, yeah.
and I say something, and people are scratching their head. I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, it's clear as can be," because it was clear to me. It just
Right.
wasn't clear to them. So I had to keep chipping away. For me, it was 6 years before I even got to that place of gaining that clarity. It's 6 years of it. I think part of this whole journey, Karsta, is that we keep going. Like we don't let that, like, I'm not perfect. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm figuring it out. We don't let that stop us. And that's what I love about you is you just keep moving forward and trying to figure it out, right? Trying to figure this thing out. Like,
Yeah,
who am I? What am I all about?
yeah. And I think, the connection, and I talk about this in my chapter in the book, is for me, it has become this drive. Like, yes, I clearly have a purpose to serve and empower other women. But I have reached a point, and writing this book and collaborating with the other ones, and going on this entrepreneurial journey, this whole season of my life, my purpose has become me, right? Like I'm not going to do it that way. I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to settle anymore. It's about me. And I hope if nobody ever hears me say any other message other than that's, no matter who you are, that needs to be your purpose first before anything else.
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of us come from that space of people pleasing.
Mhm.
And when we're there, we're so focused on others that we don't even know who we are, what we're all about. And it's impossible for us to figure out our purpose if we're so busy fretting over everybody else in our lives. So again, congratulations for moving into that place there.
Mhm.
So what do you see? What's your vision? Okay, this last 2 weeks, things are starting to open. Do you have like a future vision of where you see yourself, or are you leaving that open to opportunities, possibilities, and chance?
A little bit of both. So it's a yes and situation. I have some long-term visions that include some brick and mortar spaces and some really fun, exciting, scary things. I probably for the first time in my entire entrepreneurial journey, I do have a pretty clear vision of 2024. Most of it's going to be with emphasizing again that just that speaking, getting myself on stages, like a lot of people, I've got a TEDx goal in mind, so that's gonna happen in 2024, and just doing things that really excite me rather than what I think I'm supposed to do, and again, this goes back to that whole by design, right? My business is gonna now be by my design, not by what I think it's supposed to be according to what everybody
Mhm.
else is doing in their businesses. There are a lot of people in this space, and there's a lot of rules you hear flying around about you should do this to grow your business and that to grow your business and you should do it. I'm going to design it how I want it.
That's so good. So good. And how do you know when you're there? Like how do you know when it's designed, or will it continue to evolve?
No,
What's your
it's
thought
never
on that?
designed. I don't think it's ever designed. You're never there, ever. I would love to get it. I guess if I had to say there was an arrived or a there, I would love to get it sort of self-sustaining, right? Because much like you, I'm in year like 5, so I'm really just starting to get this figured out. So I would love, by the end of 24, if I can have it sort of self-sustaining at least a little bit so that I'm not hemorrhaging my own funds to get it up and moving, that would be great. And then go from there. But other than that, I don't think you're ever there because if you are, you've quit dreaming and you've quit growing.
Yeah. I think that was an important aspect, content piece that you said there is I remember the day I paid myself for the first time. It was after 6 years. I brought Sally on as our vice president of author development, here at Action Takers Publishing. And, she was volunteering at the beginning. And then finally one day these words that they were just like, they were scary to me. She goes, do you think that I'll be able to get paid at some point? Like that. And I was like, I don't even pay myself. That was,
Mm.
and it was
Right?
scary. It
Yeah.
was scary. But then once I made that, I'm so glad she asked, because once I made that first movement of not only paying her, but paying myself,
Mhm.
it wasn't about how much I paid myself. It was just about paying myself, taking that action. And since then, like I haven't not paid myself in a single month. Some months are really low and some months are higher. It fluctuates.
Right.
But just making that movement, that step to do something a little bit different that scares us. And so what's something that you would say to somebody who's coming up the ranks right now? They're trying to figure all this out, and
Ooh.
they're making their way up as an entrepreneur. What's like the number one piece of advice that you would give them to finding their purpose and figuring that piece out for themselves?
That's a great question. And I actually work a lot. This is actually this question is where I sort of started my coaching business. Um, because I think the very first thing you absolutely have to do is start um, creating a vision for yourself um, of what you. So I equate it to this. I can't ask my phone, and I can't say the actual word because then she'll go off. She always goes off. But I can't say, hey, GPS on my phone. I need directions away from where I'm at because I think a lot of people that jump into the entrepreneurial space, they're looking for a way out of something, right? They're looking for a way out of their 9 to 5. They're looking for a way. Linda goes, "Yep, me."
That was me totally.
Right. Me too. And I jumped with zero net, zero vision, zero clue, which full disclosure, I'm guessing that's why both of us took so long to find it.
Yeah.
Um, so you have to have that clear destination. I know a lot of people are going, well, isn't that the whole like finding your, yes, you do that. At least what I found is by tapping into how you want to feel inside the different spaces in your life. How do you want to feel every day when you wake up? And start building around that. And when I started identifying, for example, some people want to feel really adventurous in their life. That's not me. I want peace and I want comfort and really finding these really sort of juicy, elaborative words that you want to feel every day. And then all of a sudden, you'll start noticing that some of the pieces you go, oh, that's no longer serving me because and I do this. I get up every day and I say, how am I going to feel today? Like you just got back from your big trip and yesterday it was kind of recovery day. And so, like, an intention for you was probably just to sort of recover, right?
Hmm.
That means anything that's not serving that purpose gets pushed aside for the day. Right? And so I
Yeah.
wake up every day and how do I want to feel today in this moment? How does that fit into my bigger, like how do I want my life to feel? And then everything about my day is in service to that.
What I love about this is like how I feel. Because I was just thinking about, like, for me on a daily basis, how do I want to feel? I want to feel all of those things. And so it's awesome because I can design where
Mhm.
I feel like that. So as I'm approaching one of these interviews or doing one of our courses or webinars, any of these things where I'm connecting with other people, I always want to feel like energized, high vibe. Like that's how I want to feel. But then when I get done with those, sometimes I want to stay there, but other times I want, like, you know what, I just need to just go away and relax. And so I love that because I'm doing this, like I'm living my life by design and
Mhm.
not even realizing it until this very moment. So thank you for that
Yeah,
amazing gift. I
you're
love it.
welcome. Well, because I
I
think so
love it.
many people, we live in a world where, and I heard this comparison once when I was early in my journey with a coach I was working with, but we live in such a time where people say things like, and I'm just going to use weight loss journey because that's pretty common to a lot of people, right? When I get to this goal weight or this goal body, then I will go run the marathon and then I will be considered a runner or something like that, right? We think that we have to have in order to be able to do, then I'll be, right? When I have the money, then I can buy the things and then I will be rich.
Mm,
The reality is the reverse is true. You want to have those things because you want to feel a certain way at the end of it, right? You have this sense that when I have these things, I want to feel a certain way. So let's flip that and say, okay, well, how is it that I want to feel? And when I strive for that first, then I start acting as if I already have it. And then all of a sudden I start acquiring the things. And I always use the example like Kobe Bryant, when he was a kid, he didn't just like wake up and was a basketball player, right? He did things every single day that got him to where he was. In order to do that, he had to embody the mindset that he needed to have. And you have to do that first so that you stay sort of motivated. We always talk about how people run out of motivation or they peter out. You know, you start a new fad diet or you do a New Year's resolution and 3 weeks in. The reason you drop it 3 weeks in is because you don't feel it yet. So find those feelings first and then reverse engineer everything and you'll find it's so funny how quickly it starts to fall into place. The things that you decide that's not serving me, that's not aligned with me, and all of a sudden you've curated and designed this beautiful experience for yourself, whether it's entrepreneurship, your life as a whole, your partner, your life, whatever.
I love that. That's so important for us to learn how to feel that. And for some people, it's a challenge. Like me, I'm not a role player type of person, and so it can be a challenge for that kind of stuff. But we're out of time, Karsta, and I really enjoyed this conversation. I feel like I could talk forever about this
I
topic, about
know, me too.
just in general about finding your purpose, because purpose it's why we're here. I mean, it is the reason. Our purpose is why we're here. So why don't you share with us at karstamarie.as.me/30min discovery.
Yeah.
What are we going to find when we head on over there?
It's just a link so that if somebody wants to chat more with me, they certainly can. If they go to my website, which is karstamarie.com, they can get more information about who I am, learn a little bit about me. But if they hit that link, it'll just plunk them into my calendar so they can schedule some time and we can chat more about whatever it is they want to chat about. We can decide if we want to coach or just if they want to pick my brain or whatever.
Okay, fantastic. So head on over there. Karstamarie.com, you can go there or go karstamarie.as.me/30min discovery. And with that said, we're talking about the book, Finding Your Purpose, Living on Purpose Rather Than on Accident. You can get your copy of the book at actiontakerspublishing.com/purpose. Karsta, what's final word that you would like to share with our viewers before we head out for the day?
Oh my gosh. I think just again, being really intentional with how you curate your world around you is going to make a world of difference in everything. So,
Be intentional. Be
mhm.
intentional. I love it. Thank you so much for being here, being part of our world. You've got a couple of the
Yeah,
books behind you
I
there
do.
as well. Yep, yep. So she's got a plethora of books that she's in
Yeah,
with us. Really appreciate you being part of our world, Karsta, and for
thank you.
continuing to be in our world even in the future,
Yeah.
because I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. it's so powerful for those of you watching that maybe haven't, like, you've got the bug to write, but you're super scared. Collaboration books are an incredible place to start. And just to plug Action Takers a little bit, I don't know about other publishers. They're the only one I've ever worked with, but they've made it so easy. Like, you literally write your chapter and hit send, and then it's like all the work is done.
I know.
That's literally all you do.
And then you're connected with all these other amazing women who are like-minded.
Stories and journeys, and yes,
they have made it so easy. So shout out to Linda and to Sally for just really creating this amazing space for us to use our voices.
Yes, I love it so much. That's amazing.